Hey everyone, it's JG. I'm playing Eternal Evolution, and the day has arrived for me. It is time to do some limited recruitment and advanced recruitment. We've got the double chip event for the new year going on. Just today, I flipped over to a recruitment event for me, and the Daniel recruitment event is still going on. So I am going to hit all of those at the same time. So this recruitment event doesn't look phenomenal. I've got about 500 recruitment tickets right now, which should get me up to this reward here. Oh, nice. It's a triple S at the top tier. In the middle, I get a Serena, which is not terrible. She's not maxed out on my account yet, but not exactly something worth chasing. But overall, should get some nice rewards from this. So let's dive in. First off, I've got 153 limited recruitments. Really, as we pull this, it shouldn't be all that exciting. We know if we're getting good pulls, it's going to be one of these three things. So really, the only interesting question is how many am I going to get of each of these? Let's go. First 10. No elite. One Kalaza. That's not very high on my list. Muka is one of the ones I'm investing in right now. There we go. Muka in the third set of 10. Another no pink in this. There's 5. All right, the sixth set, we should definitely get a Daniel because we're going to hit that 60-point recruitment reward. There we go. There's Daniel. First Daniel. All right, 90 left to go, though. Let's hope to get some more Daniel. Another Muka. I'll take it. Another Muka. All right, he's going to be going up a few tiers for me today. 60 left. Nothing. Another Kalaza. So I should have several summoners in pretty decent shape after all of this. Nice. Muka and Daniel in that set. And ending it out with nothing useful. All right, there's my, oh, look at that, 300 recruitment chips and some nice milestone rewards. That is what I'm here for. So let's go into the exchange right now. Gene hybrids. These are going into Leo for me, and we'll show you that in just a minute. I've got 250 more, so over here in the Azena exchange, I can also get a gene hybrid. Lovely, lovely. And the rest of these are just being saved up. I can get 2 more gene hybrids as the shop rolls over. We're not going to spend the 120. We're going to wait for the right moment. Advanced recruitment, that's the other one that is in the recruitment event that is going on. So I don't think it's double chips for this, but it will still get me points in the recruitment event. I have been sitting on this for a while. Honestly, I've been noticing in Arena I'm dropping just a little bit. It's a little harder to get to the spot that I was in before. I think it's because I'm not progressing as fast as other people since I am saving my resources. But the time has come. Today I should make a nice big step up on the account and get a little more competitive again. All right, 370 of these. Oh, and I realized I forgot to check. If I'm going to do a bunch of advanced recruitments, let's look at my wish list here. See if this is in the right place. So I've got Muka still on the list, and Sorietta and Oak. These are all ones that are pretty close to hitting legendary. Or Sorietta and Oak are. Oak is just needs one more dupe there. Serena doesn't need to be in this list anymore. She has hit legendary for me. So let's see. That's 2 Atlas. For my Winfear, I've got Muka, and then Boar has been on my list. Let's see. I need another Terran in here. And who do I have that's fairly high up? So Randall has been advancing a lot for me. Falvea, I just drew, so she is very low on my list. But yeah, let's look at the Terran list, see if there's anything else that I want to invest in. Hercules would not be a bad choice here. He's very low for me. But let's go ahead and finish off Randall before I start investing in anything else on the side. All right, so wish list is rounded out. Honestly, if I get an oak in here, I'm going to swap oak out for something else. Oh, I am full up on heroes. That has not happened to me before. Let's do a quick evolve and clear up some space. That is a whole lot of stuff. Even more quick evolves left after that. Intelligent evolve. There, that should have cleared up a lot of space, and here we go again. Falvea, I'll take it. Junk. Food. Amuka, lovely. Food. Food. Two from the wish. So Sorietta and Boar. Let's see. Yeah, Sorietta still has several levels to go up, so I think I need maybe 3 more Sorietta. More food. More food. Elite level food. Just junk. Ugh, on a low streak here. There we go. Boar again. More food, more food. Elite food. Any second now it's going to tell me that I'm full and I need to evolve some things again. Is that one? No, that one's actually an elite, isn't it? Yeah, Orn. Not quite food, but not high on my list. Alright, time to clear out again. And how many am I at now? Yeah, I've got 100 slots left. Probably someday, if I'm doing large batches of recruitment, I should just go ahead and expand that box, but not yet. There we go. There's Oak. That should be the last Oak I need to get him to Immortal. And, of course, I could take 10 more to get him up beyond that, but Immortal is good enough that I'm willing to retarget here and invest somewhere else until I've maxed out. Let's see, who else is on the list from the Atlas that's interesting? I've got Nagrama fairly high just because of the Rise of Heroes event, but I think Hypnos here is kind of unique. It's a support unit that's not a healer. I wouldn't mind having him be the next one that I invest in. Here we go. Food. Food again. Muka. So Muka is going to go up a lot today. I'm a little interested in Muka. My front line has been kind of weak, and he is a summoner that is also kind of a frontliner, so that might have some use in a few places. More Sorietta, that makes me happy. An Oak not from the wish list, so that'll be Sitting in the food chamber for a little bit, waiting for me to get a second one. Ah, this is the 1 triple S Anaruda that can show up in advanced recruitment. So that is a new one for me. I have not really looked into this yet, so I'll look into him a little later and see how excited I am about that. The trouble with triple S's is when you get just one, they're not super useful to you, and you of course can't afford to invest in them all at the same time. So even if Anaruda is pretty good, he's probably going to be in line behind Leo and Daniel and a few others before I'm ready to invest in him. Let's see, how much does it take to expand this? 300 gems for 5 slots? Okay, yeah. I'll do that someday, but today we'll just go do some evolution. I mean, honestly, I don't know what I would be doing with 200 hero slots in this game. Like, there's just not that many heroes, and you don't really need to hang on to dupes, so really hero slots are just buffer so that you can recruit a lot in a row without having to switch screens. Maybe someday, but not today. Alright, last 30 here. A Kane. I invested in Kane just a little bit early in the game, but he is low on the list. That said, I don't have a lot of AoE hitters. Ravenna is my first triple S that I got to Immortal, so I've got a good AoE hitter, but not really some alternates. Alright, so that is it for the recruitment. Let's see what we can buy in the exchange right now. So with 85 chips, I'm sitting on 440 of these. Honestly, I'm going to have to come back later and see what I need the most of after I've evolved some of these. There's plenty of good options here. All right, and now we can collect all these nice recruitment event prizes. First few aren't super exciting here, but it gets better as we go on. There's an extra Serena. I think she's going to be a couple steps above Immortal for me after all this. And now this is the sad thing. They don't show you this until you've gotten deeper into the event. You can get a Bailey Hudson at 700. I am 180 short on that. And then gene hybrids beyond that. So there are some pretty nice rewards if you get higher into this. I did not save long enough this time around for this, but it was still a good time for me to go ahead and pull. I might try to make sure I'm saving for 700 next time around, if not up to 1100, because some of these get pretty nice. All right, so we're just going to skip over the part where I spent a bunch of time evolving all of these and using up the food. And we're going to jump into my new levels of these heroes here and do a quick analysis of what I'm excited about from what happened with my account today. So first, let's start with Muka. Muka is definitely the most improved across the day. Went from Epic 1 up to Immortal 0. So definitely something that I'm willing to start looking at. So I haven't used him a lot because he was only at Epic 1, but he's interesting to me because he's a summoner that is also presumably a decent front row hero. So let's see, ultimate skill here boosts attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. That's nice. When you boost crit rate like that, it means you don't have to invest as much in the base crit rate on the hero, and so you can invest in crit damage instead, which can pump up some nice attack numbers. Let's see, he summons this wolf. The wolf inherits attack, defense, and health, and crit rate damage reduction damage bonus. That is pretty useful here because a lot of summons don't inherit crit rate and crit damage. They just have a base value there. And so that means that when you build them, you generally don't want to build a lot of crit rate and crit damage because only the core hero will have it and the summons won't benefit from it. And so you'd rather pump up attack since that's a stat that actually inherits onto the summoned creature. So this one, it looks like all the things that you invest in for Muka are going to apply to the wolves. One of the challenges here is Since Muka is a frontliner, you kind of want to be investing in just about every stat. In addition to attack, crit rate, crit damage, you also are going to be wanting HP and damage reduction because it's going to be up in the front line. It's hard to invest in all those things at the same time. You can't really say that you're focused on a certain stat when it's 5 of them. So that's going to be one challenge with him. But I think he still can be pretty useful. Let's see, the Howl skill here increases attack speed on those wolves. So I like this passive here. It boosts his HP based on how much attack he has, so it makes him a little tankier if you build him with a lot of attack, and then his attack can increase across the course of the battle. That is fairly useful here. Now, the exclusive, which I picked up today as well, I don't quite parse the text here. What makes them rip and tear wounds open? Is it just every time they hit? That's my best guess here, but increases damage by 1% of Muga's attack each time they hit, or something like that, and stacks some number of times. At higher levels, increase some of these stats on the wolves. So my thought for Muka actually is maybe useful in some of these boss fights. In your wave-based fights, you really want a front line that can hold the line and not let people through to hit your hard nukers in the back row. Boss fights tend to work a lot differently. You just sort of need someone up close, but they don't have to be quite as tanky as in a typical wave-based fight. And so that means having a frontliner who's got decent tank, but also can hit hard, can be pretty useful. And definitely this kit looks like it's oriented around damage. So I will be playing with Muka a little bit now that he's hit immortal status for me. All right, so Sorietta is one of the other ones that boosted a bit for me today. The thing I'm excited about is Psionic Embrace, the talent skill unlocked here. I haven't bought it just yet, but when the Psionic Spheres touch the enemy, they have a chance to stun the enemy for 1 second. And I believe that applies to all of the spheres. There's already in one of the other skills, so the Rage of the Dragon skills can also deal stun when the Psionic Spheres hit enemies. This just really helps boost Sorietta into a nice crowd control machine. You get 7 or 8 of these out at higher levels, and as they're bumping into people, you are dealing damage and potentially stunning them. So I'm excited to play around with that and use Sorietta as one of my crowd control options. Hypnos is one of the ones that I boosted by quite a lot today, and it's a support hero that I've been thinking about investing in. So mostly your support heroes are healers. Hypnos fills a different niche, and I think it's potentially interesting. So this ultimate skill basically just straight up controls an enemy for some period of time and stops them from taking any action. The thing that I think is the blessing and the curse of Hypnos is this Arcane Concentration skill. It puts up a shield around him, this sort of circle on the ground, and continuously gathers energy for 3 seconds, as it says. If an enemy within range of it casts an ability, then it takes damage and is stunned for 2 seconds. So the trouble I've had with this most of the time that I play with it is you don't put Hypnos in the front line, you put him in the back line. And the range on this circle isn't so large that it really tends to hit anyone if they're not right up next to him. And so this tends to be wasted in a number of fights. The place where I think this is potentially interesting is when you're talking about displacement enemies. So you have someone that jumps right through your front line and attacks your back line directly. So mainly I'm thinking about assassin-style heroes here. So Bailey or Rakana or Randall, who just sort of like phase past the front line and go straight for your back line casters. Arcane Concentration is potentially a way for you to control those assassins when they come into your back line, deal some damage to them, and help your backline heroes kill them before they really get some good whacks in on your back row. And so I'm looking at Hypnos as potentially being interesting in the arena when you're facing displacement style teams. I need to test that out a little more, but that is what makes me kind of interested in investing in Hypnos here. Let's see. I believe I added the exclusive today. This basically, recovers energy points once the battle commences and recovers energy when they inflict crowd control. Energy at start of battle is an interesting one. I think that's another one that's pretty geared at arena. The thing I've noticed in arena is a lot of the time you'll see everyone on both teams picks up their energy skill all at the exact same time. They all charge at pretty much the same rate, and so there's this sudden blast of everyone putting out their energy skills all at the same time. And so the light gap set or skills like this that boost your energy a little bit at the start of battle mean that you're going to be pulling off your energy skill before your opponents do. So I think that has some value in arena. Hypnos, of course, that ultimate skill is itself a control ability, so gives you a chance to lock the enemy out of their ultimate skills before they have a chance to start, hitting you hard with those. So Hypnos is looking to me like potentially an interesting arena hero, but I need to do some more research on that. Now, Daniel and Leo are my next two right here that both gained a lot of levels today. There's not much more to say than that these are pretty good Triple S champions, and maxing them out is going to be useful to me. I need to play around with them a little more to see exactly where they shine, but it looks like they both added a lot of power today, and I'm excited to play with them. Now, Kalaza is one that has not been on my list to invest in. Didn't look all that interesting to me, and just wasn't one of the ones that I drew a lot in the beginning, and I'm kind of past the point where new elites that aren't Triple S, are game-changing on my account. The thing that I liked here is this exclusive skill. The crit rate buff provided by Fatal Injury will no longer be removed. So if I understand that correctly, this passive, in default mode, it says it increases their crit rate by 2% each time they make a basic attack, and it is stackable. But then when a critical strike is triggered, the buff is removed. So basically, the longer you go without a crit, the higher your chance of dealing a crit, and then it resets. In its base mode, this is not all that exciting. It's effectively a small boost to crit rate, which isn't huge. But with the exclusive, it adds that 2% and never takes it away. And at higher levels here, you see it turns into 3%, 4%, 5%. And that is potentially interesting. Similar to what we discussed with Muka, if you're getting large crit rate boosts, then that means you can focus more on crit damage than crit rate, because you'll get your crit rate from side stats. That means ultimately you can be dealing more damage with those crits. Now, in this case, it's going to stack up as the battle progresses. So the longer the battle goes on, the larger this effect gets. So Kalaza is maybe interesting to me in some of these long-running battles. Guild hunts come to mind because usually those go to time as opposed to, to death. And so you've got 3 whole minutes where, in the first 30 seconds to a minute, you've maybe stacked up a lot of these bonuses, and the whole rest of the battle he's just dealing more damage on it. So the guild boss, the guild hunt, or other long battles, maybe the altar bosses, strike me as places where this could potentially be interesting. So I've put garbage equipment on Kalaza so far. I don't know if he's even wearing anything. Okay, yeah, level 1 equipment. I just pressed the equip all button and ignored him. But maybe there's some usefulness in investing in him. Also, being a summoner, throw him on a team with Daniel, and they'll sort of mutually reinforce each other. So that might be interesting as well. So that's about it. That's everyone on my account that really hit a substantial new milestone today. But I'm enjoying this level up to my account. I still need to re-gear and experiment with some of these heroes before I'm getting the most out of them, but hoping I can swing a little harder in Arena and in Twilight Forest and some of those locations now that I have some beefier heroes than I did before. That's all for today. JG out.